Okay, you guys, good afternoon. This is our next little YouTube video. This might be a boring subject to some. It might be an important subject to others. I've never ever heard anybody talk about this. I didn't look on YouTube for a video or nothing. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I think it started out basically, first time I knew I was going to be an assistant super in a high-rise building on 19th Street and 3rd Avenue, which was 345 tenants in one building. Still there, the building, Gramercy Park Towers, I believe. I was there only a year, but I realized before I went, I would probably have similar tools, or there might be a conversation of, that's my tool, and I decided to take a step, be proactive, and actually mark certain tools a certain way. And sure enough, I was right. Somebody wanted to borrow my hammer contract, a 5-pound sledgehammer. I had a piece of white tape on it, and when the gentleman was over, I said I'd like my tool back. And one of the associates there, or the person that worked, actually my supervisor, says, "That's not your tool." I said, "Yes it is, look at the white tape." And what he did, he was like, they both looked at each other because they don't mark their tools. So that's what this whole video is about, is about marking your tools, and not just for power tools, but other things I'm going to discuss which could be helpful. And I'll just pretty much go along what I have to show you and see what you guys think, okay? The first one is probably an easy one. It's going to be batteries. Okay. I'm guessing you guys can see that battery right there. It has 2 orange marks. I'll show you what I made that with. Okay? This one has 3 orange marks. Show you what I made that with. In between all this discussion, there's going to be tools that don't need to be marked. These are Knipex, German, I believe, for electricity, and you can see how easy it is to see these. You don't have to mark these, so I just wanted to show you that they're not just showing off, but they're also helping you locate your tools very quickly when you need them on the job. Okay, these suckers are expensive, but they can save your life. So they're not that expensive. Just a little Klein. I like these guys a lot. I like Klein. I always felt the grip was better than traditional channel lock, the blue ones. Okay. This is what I marked the orange with. It's called Bright Mark. Okay, hoping you guys can see that. They come in different colors. I have the orange. I use this for different things. Here's 3 different ones. See if I can get them in lined up. Okay, there's 3 different ones. Okay, you got a green, orange, and a white, and they kind of look like a paint, but they're supposed to be bright enough to see them per se traditional paint. Okay, I'm not going to tell you they have fluorescent in them. I do have one that has fluorescent in it, and I will get to that. Okay, but this is what I started out with, something like this, Bright Mark, a few years back. And actually, when I started 20 years ago, I just used electrical tape. And I'll show you that example of that in a second. But this is a company I want you guys to take note of, Bright Mark, okay? This is what I started out doing. This is how I marked the hammer. And what I did was I got white electrical tape. And I figured I can see that in case somebody's, borrowed my tools or something like that. And I just marked it the way I marked this screwdriver. See where I have the blue tape on there? And that's how I did. I used white tape on certain tools. And when I lent them the hammer and I went to ask for it back, and my supervisor said, "That's not yours," I said, "Yes it is." I got it back immediately. They just looked at each other and there was no questions. So that's how that worked. That was 20 years ago I did that. That was on a 5-pound hammer. This is another one here. Doesn't actually have any marks on it, but that's one where you could have 2, 3 marks. This one doesn't have one. I have a 4th battery somewhere lying around. Doesn't have any marks on it. Another thing I found very useful. This is for illustration. This little stove top burner knob or range knob. They have a little marking here, and usually I would take the Bright Mark and I make a nice round circle So when I'm leaving, I can look and I can see all of them on top are off. I don't have to go there physically and turn them. My wife actually left the gas on and she didn't know. And I know sometimes when we do repairs, if we're working anywhere around the stove, we can actually touch the knob and it can turn it off. So for elderly people, I'm not that elderly yet, thank God, but I'm getting there. I'm pushing it. But this is an idea. This does work. I like this. Using the bite mark on, per se, on it. If it was black, I might use the green or the orange would show on it, but you can also use the white if that would help you. Okay, and you can make the dot as small or as big as you want with the bite marks. They work very good. Okay, another idea. Other ways I would use the tape. There's 3 other fashions. Okay. Hoping you guys can get all that in there. This is a Nebo Big Cricket, and I couldn't see it for the life of me in my bag. I mean, it's hiding all the time. Sure enough, I went and got some yellow electrical tape, and I wrapped it, and I can find it all the time now. This I had to put on there because the 9-volt battery cover, kept coming off. But you can see the contrast, how I can find this a little bit better sometimes in a bag. Okay, and then there's the Klein electrical screwdriver I just bought, which is really good. I'm very happy with it so far. Putting on, so I can kind of distinguish, oh, that's my light, that's my screwdriver. I can grab those 2 real quick. Okay, this helps me out tremendously. I got a small little Husky 10-inch tote because I tried not to lug around 40 pounds of tools. I'd rather lug around 10 if I could, when I can get away with it. All right. So that's another illustration of how I use the tape. Different colors: white, yellow, orange, blue, black. Maybe in certain circumstances might work. Okay. This is another way I mark my tools. I'm going to show you this in a second. I'm just going to compare these two because these belong to 2 different people. And I don't know if you guys can see that. It might be a little hard to see, but I think once I point it out, you're going to see how I mark these tools. Alright, this one is mine. This one belongs to someone else. We had the same one. And when he saw me mark mine, I said, let me mark yours too. Can you see a little notch right here? Hoping you guys can see that. Okay, there's a little notch right there. And then there's also a notch on the other side. Right here. I just took it to the grinder, then I took it to the wire wheel, smoothed it out. And anybody ever borrows my knives, I know what's going on. They're like, okay, that doesn't belong to me. Here's, I marked over here, I put 3 ridges. I did 3 ridges over here. And I've done this on channel locks too. I'll do it on the edge of a channel lock. I have it in my car, didn't bring it with me. I do it on the top of the head. I'll put 3 ridges because we were using the same Irwins. Me and 2 other guys here were using the same Irwins, so I marked mines. His I marked on the bottom, and mine's I marked on top. So every once in a while, we grab each other's tool, we borrow it, we put it in our bag because it looks like it's ours. We're using the same company, and we can distinguish whose tools it is by the markings on there. Okay, so you can mark metal very easily with a little grinder wheel, Dremel tool, a file or something. You can actually mark your tools. Okay. We also in the shop have a thing that vibrates and it stencils in the code number for this site, which you can use if you want to use something like that. But this is just another illustration how you can mark your tools. These are just some knives for drywall work. Okay, since that one doesn't belong to me, I'll give it back. You can also see here, now that you know what you're looking for, I marked this one right here and right there. Another one right here, right there. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you borrowed my knives and I asked you to give you my knife back, and you would say, that's not yours. And I would do the same thing. I'd point it out and say, yes it is. That mark didn't get there by itself. I put it there. Here's another older one, a Purdy. Okay, so now you guys get an idea why those are there. Different way to mark your tools. I bet some of you have been doing this as long as I've been doing it, possibly longer, because you have your tools walk away or something like that and you're not happy with it. Maybe you have other ways you want to illustrate how you do your stuff, because not that my methods are correct, but I'm hoping they're ideas for people to at least see. That's what this video is about. Okay, now this is the one that has fluorescent paint on it. It's actually called Glow On, And I believe it's a #1 seller. It's a little expensive. I'm not sure how many bucks it is for this little bottle. Could be close to $10 on Amazon. It says made in USA. Don't have my glasses with me. Yes, I do. They're over there. I don't remember the price. I didn't look it up. I just had it. And it actually will glow in the dark. If you put a light source to it, a strong light source to it, it'll actually glow in the dark. It says super fluorescent, water-based polymer based paint, permanent when dry. I don't know about how permanent it is when it's dry because I put it on my 9mm car, CM9 and CW9, that's what I'm using now. If I ever have to, hopefully I don't have to. But I use it on the front sight because they don't sell night front sights for that. I'm sure a gunsmith can modify one, but over the counter I couldn't find anything. I know they used to years ago, but this worked really, really good. If I hit it with a strong light source for a while, it would glow for a while in the dark. Not to be taken lightly. It does work. I can tell you that, okay? Last thing, you might have clothes, uniforms. Everybody has the same type of jackets. A couple guys might be the same size. I'll mark inside the collar of the jacket or something like that with just a marker, permanent marker like this. You should have a black one. I only have a red for illustration, but just to at least give you the idea. Okay, so marking your tools is not a bad idea, especially if you're working amongst others who have similar tools, or you have very expensive tools and you just don't want nobody to touch your stuff. I gave you guys enough ideas, and you guys can put your comments below, okay? Have a good one. Bye.